And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out the 37.
Oh!
Turn!
Cabot, where did he come from?
Here
comes Zwack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
Contact there entering turn 1.
Around goes the 9. Oh, he comes back up the track and he gets squattered. Saya picks it up into the air.
Martin Sports 125 presented by VSPEED BTDY. Martin Sports getting ready to go live here at the Charlotte Roval, 55 laps, 125 miles, and we're on race 3 out of 20. I'm joined here tonight by Alec Martinez, and Alec, we're watching some qualifying go on right now on this track. We're watching a couple different drivers go around. We've got Youssef, I'm going to butcher this name, Gale? Is it Gale? All right, I got that one. I as close as I could get it. We got Brody Hayes going around the track right now, and you know, the Roval, it brings out some of the best drivers at road courses. We've seen guys do good at the cookie cutter tracks, guys do good at super speedways, but now we're at a road course, and this has got a little bit of a mix of everything going on. You've got tight corners, flat track, and then you've got high bank speeds to exit just before the finish line. What do we got in store here tonight?
A difficult task here tonight for these drivers, and I'm looking forward to it. I think we're going to see a lot of beating and banging, a lot of guys rubbing doors, hitting each other in the corners, and it seems like we saw, like you said, right now we got Youssef Gale on the pole so far. Talking to him before the race, says seemed very confident coming in here to Charlotte tonight, and we'll be here at Charlotte twice this year. Once here on the road course here tonight, and then later this year for the regular season finale on the oval, the 1.5 mile oval. But I'll tell you, the field is very, very tight within the top 5. And I think that's something we were able to see last year when it was the Cup Series. There were 5 guys that were very, very fast, and I think they brought their road course speed here to Charlotte, and they brought it here to these Xfinity cars. And like you said, we're in the NASCAR's backyard. The shops are not too far in real life. So it's going to be interesting. Going to have a lot of guys, going to be competitive. And I think the big thing here tonight is conserving your car over the bump, over the rumble strips and over the turtles, as they say.
Yeah.
And I think the big one as well is your tires. You got to be so easy on your tires. You got to be easy on the brakes. You don't want to wheel hop into corners. It's going to be a race of consistency. The most consistent guy usually wins this race. Sometimes it's not always the fastest car. It's usually the most consistent.
Planning those passes, that's another thing I'll add to that, is it is very hard to plan. You can probably get away with a good pass here in the banking as we go through what would be turns 3 and 4 at the normal oval. But through this chicane, there's 2 different chicanes in this track, one on the back stretch, one on the front stretch. And that's where a lot of accidents happen. We've also seen a lot of guys plowed into turn 1, kind of forget how to brake and slide into that wall. They were actually doing that during practice, and it was quite hilarious. Cars getting flipped over, stuck in the wall. But when iRacing breaks, it's always great.
It's always great, yeah. So I'm looking forward to this race. It's going to be good. It's our first road course race of the season, so we're going to see who's got speed on road course. I think we have 3 this season. One in the chase with Watkins and Glenn, and I think there's one more. So I can't really remember where it's at, but it should. Like I said, I think this race really. You know, I love road course racing. I think it's awesome. So I know some guys are not the biggest proponents of it, but I think we're going to have a strong field tonight. I think we're going to have some good racing. I mean, usually the Roval's going to be, it's usually pretty wild, and I'll tell you this, from what I heard from race control, they're going to be using the real-life restart zone. I don't think I've ever seen it used in iRacing, so that's going to be a big factor in this race. And not to forget, there's a stage in this race to help bunch up the field again. So there's going to be 2 initial start and then the restart when guys are more comfortable into this race. So track position is going to be key, especially on these restarts.
So we're talking to some guys. Seth Hatchell in this race tonight, one of the big contenders. I believe he's a 2-time winner here at BTDY in the championship. So he's out there. He has not elected to grid or take a qualifying effort. I don't know if he's waiting until the absolute end of qualifying, but right now, as of now, Seth Hatchell, no time. Gale has the pole right now, and he's got it with a 1 minute 21 second lap time. He's a second almost faster than your Brody Hayes, and actually second place, correction on that, is Bafford, and he's within about a tenth of a second. So timing and scoring a little confused there, and I want to apologize because we had a little technical difficulty during that introduction. You guys were not able to hear Alex's beautiful voice in the first probably 15 seconds, and that's on me. I would like to thank everyone that works at Microsoft for the last Windows update for breaking my sound. But outside of that, Martin Sports getting ready to go live. We got about 6 minutes to grid. Final thoughts, Alec?
Like I said, looking forward to this. The restarts are going to be crazy. This initial start's going to be wild, something we haven't seen. The person that I have never seen in iRacing. So I think we're gonna be in for a show tonight. A very competitive field, and like I said, there's gonna be a lot of fenders hitting, smashing in. It's gonna be a lot of beating and banging, and I hope all you guys that are tuning in enjoy this race. I'd recommend. We got 5 minutes to go here before we take the green, so I'd say grab yourself an ice cold beverage and sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
I condone that behavior. Ice cold beer and NASCAR, nothing better combination in the world. So we get set to go green. Martin Sports BTDY presented by VSPEED, flag to flag coverage. We'll see you in just a minute. If you haven't shared this broadcast, get the word out there, and we will be joining you right after this.
Sailor Tarot Magic is the spot to get a reading from Sally, an intuitive healer and tarot reader. Known as the Nurturing Reader at New Jersey Street Fairs, you can also check out our YouTube channel for lunar and astro readings, as well as our Instagram for live weekly readings. Her rates are affordable, and you will leave with a newfound perspective. Sally is now offering an introductory class on tarot cards and intuition, and is available for parties. Call or text 732-314-0777 to schedule your reading today.
Back live, BTDY on VSPEED. 2 minutes to grid. We're getting lined up. And nobody took away the pole from Yusuf. I tell you what, man, it's going to be a tight battle. These guys are going to have to, like you said, save their tires, take their time, plan their passes. And whoever can conserve it the best, I think, is going to come out on top.
Oh, absolutely. I think, what we're going to see tonight, you want to be aggressive, especially on the start and the restarts. But other than that, you want to save the tires. This track surface is very abrasive. And we talk about the Xfinity cars being an H pattern as well. These guys deal with what they call wheel hop. And wheel hop, for any of the new viewers that are possibly watching, wheel hop is when you get, so let's just say down this backstretch, you're going to get up to fourth gear in the middle of the oval part. And then you're going to have to bang it down into third and then into second. And if you do it too fast, you'll over-rev the RPMs and those back tires will start chattering. And then sometimes if they chatter too much, the car, you'll just lose all balance in the car and the car will just spin from under you. And especially in the chicane or heavy braking zone, I've seen plenty of times somebody wheel hops and then they spin and they take 3 or 4 cars with them just because, you're slowing down so much for a corner. So I think this is going to be interesting. And since we're about to go green, I got to ask you, looking at the field, do you have a pick for tonight's race?
Well, I appreciate the boldness by Seth Hatchell, a 2-time champion, but I think Stravado. I think AJ Stravado, he's due for a good race. He's always in the intros. Something happens. He's up towards the front, and then, he gets turned or he gets involved in something. So I'm going to go with AJ Stravado. I don't know his capabilities on a road course, but that's my pick for the 33.
Trust me, that is a good pick. AJ's always strong on the road courses. And I think for myself, if I had to look, he's just so good on road courses. And I've raced with him personally a lot of times on these kinds of racetracks. I think that 48 of Jeff Wright is going to be really, really fast on the long run once we get to the long runs. I think that 48 car, the Lowe's Chevrolet Camaro, that car is going to be fast, and I think he's going to be the guy to beat once we get to the end of this race.
All right, getting set to grid. It's transitioning, and we've got cars out there on the track. Let's take a good look at it. I like the way they're lining up right now. But let's toggle that up there on the screen and get your grid up. Starting on the pole with a 1 minute, 21 second and 9 tenths. That's Yusuf Ghali. And then to his outside will be Ben Bradford in the 23 machine. Working our way to row number 2, Jeff Wright, your pick tonight in 3rd spot with Brody Hayes in 4th position. 5th position is going to be Bailey Turner. And then my pick tonight in 6th spot, qualifying a little far back, but not too. About a second off of the pole is AJ Stravado. 7th position, Keith Mayatu, and I tell you what, that's a strong driver. That was going to be my second pick if the 33 gets knocked out. I've watched that guy. He's quick, and we're going to have Chris Simmerd outside of him in the 77. And then rounding out your top 10, Dennis Faircloth, and he knows how to hit turn 1 wall. We watched that in practice. Let's see if he can get around the rest of the turns. Dennis Faircloth in the 80. Old Bear Claw, and then Bentley. Is this Glazer or Glasser?
Bentley Glazer.
Glazer, all right. Bentley Glazer going to start in the 10th position.
And in 11th, starting off here, outside the top 10, last race winner, David Shieldhouse in that 20, what is that car? Hot Sauce car. I love that car. Saw it on Ryan Ellis's car this weekend at Daytona. And started in 12th, Jeremiah Vincent in that number 9 Chevrolet Camaro, the Jags Chevrolet Camaro. In 13th is Dallas Sullivan. 14th will be Reggie Ortega. 15th will be the 81 of Cody Atkins. 16th will be the 99 of Mark McFadden. In 17th, Eric Hutton. 18th will be Casey Lakatos. And in 19th, the 2-time champion Seth Hatchell. And in 20th will be Nick Starling.
Shout out there to Eric Hutton there. Joined me in the broadcast booth there for last season in the Contender Series. So shout out to him. He's a little far back, but good luck out there tonight, Eric. 21st position, Zachary Smith. And then 22nd, Timmy Emanuele. We've got Mark Beverly in 23rd, Justin Carey in 24th, Noah Miskalski in 25th, Kyle Payne in 26th, Max Kost in 27th, and Robert Gilmore is going to, actually Jordan Brockle is going to round out your field in 29th.
Yeah.
So there it is. There's our grid, and there's Yusuf coming around, following that pace car. We've got a lot of gridding left to do here, and it's a long place to get around.
Hey, we got a long pace left. Should we pull in anybody before we go green?
I don't know. Do we have enough time? Would there be a distraction?
Yeah, we do. Oh, no, we don't care.
All right,
So
let's
we
pull
got
one.
Yusuf
Whoever you
Ghali,
want.
Yusuf Ghali, our pulse sitter. Let's get him in here real quick. Yusuf Ghali, Bradley Cooper, Alec Martinez in the VSPEED booth. Got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Well, buddy, you're starting off on the pole here. We got a long race. What are you expecting here?
I'm expecting Jeff Wright to be extremely fast, so I think it's going to be tough for Ben and I to keep him behind us. But other than that, I think it's just going to be a typical Roval race where you just got to save your tires.
For sure. Well, we've been talking about that, brother. Good luck tonight. And go get him.
Thank you, guys.
There's Yusuf Ghali, your pulse sitter in that Vans Toyota Supra. I think Toyota's sweeping that front row with the 23 Splash & Go graphics. I think it's Ben Baffert in that purple and yellow Toyota Supra. It's a new scheme for Ben. He's been in a plain black car this year, and now he's got some color, and man, it shines in the sun.
All right, well, we're coming up on that long sweeping bank turn. You know how that goes, and these guys racing through the infield. Really, I mean, the pace laps here are really tough to do. You can actually, I've seen a lot of guys get into each other during pace laps. It's so tight down there, but now this is a little more familiar, coming through 1 and 2. And these guys working off the corner. I tell you what, this chicane, this is one of the trickiest corners on this track. Is you're coming down this backstretch at probably about $160, $170.
Oh yeah.
And wheel hop, big issue here in these corners.
I think it's easily probably the most difficult corner on that track. You got such a tight entrance into the corner, and then you got to get it in here. You'll see this curve on the inside. I think they're just going to go straight through it because you don't really want to touch there.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about with getting into each other.
Yeah, and I think that's smart, giving each other room here. But this is going to be such a tight pace lap here as we're going through NASCAR 3 and 4, as they say. I think, what do we got, 14 turns on this racetrack, so about 1.5 minute laps once we get to the end of the fuel run here. It's going to be wild. It's going to be crazy. Sit back and relax and enjoy the show as we're about to go green. Yusuf Ghali, Ben Baffert, that front row.
All right, pace car about to make that left-hander down pit road. It's a tight squeeze, but he's going to figure it out. And here we go. They're going through the cones for this too. Green flag is out, and we're live. BTDY, live and racing at the Roval. Oh! Little contact there right into turn 1.
Yeah, Ghali overhopped the curb there and made some contact with Baffert.
Getting ready to come back up on the normal racing surface, and there's a lot of action right there. They've already single filed out, but we were going to agree to try to get half a lap in, but already as the action was brewing, we had contact with your pole sitter, and that puts Jeff Wright up in there in the first spot. He took advantage of it.
Oh yeah, Ghali overhopped that turtle and I think went up and washed up into his teammate. And like he said, he didn't really want to let Jeff Wright go easily. And look at, he's already up to the lead here. Now we'll go into this first chicane, or the second chicane down the back, or the first chicane down the backstretch. Everybody keeping it nice, clean, and tidy here. Everybody seems to make it through all right, side by side with Ortega and Atkins.
We had a little contact there with Hutton there, and I think Ortega, they did door touch on the exit of that chicane. So a little touch there with the 2 car, but I think everybody made it through okay. So more technical parts coming up.
Yeah, and you can see Jeff Wright's going to lead this first lap here tonight. First of 55 laps here. A long way to go. I think the first stage, if I'm not mistaken, will end on lap 25. So about a 25 lap run here on these tires and on this fuel tank. And I'll tell you who's starting to make his way through the field already is the 20 of David Shieldhouse. He's really starting to get there, and he's pressuring Dennis Faircloth in the 80 and that Heartbeat Hot Sauce Company Chevrolet Camaro. He's really starting to put pressure on that 80.
Yeah, Faircloth got him in the mirror. He's right up on the bumper. Shieldhouse is looking good. He's starting 11th. He's already climbed 2 positions. And just inside the top 10 right now. But like you said, this is only lap 2. You got to start pacing yourself. With the stage break, that's going to help these guys. They can come down pit road if they did make some mistakes in the first half of this race. So splitting it right down the middle pretty much. That's going to be beneficial, I think, to some of these guys that are still figuring out this track.
And we got some pressure here in battle for second. Ben Baffert peeking to driver's left here on Yusuf Ghali. He'll go down to the inside really hot on the brakes, able to make it. Golly, your pole sitter falls down to third. Bailey Turner, Brody Hayes, you can see battling side by side. Now Stravato gets down to the inside. Looks like he's made some contact with the wall, got some right side damage. He'll get by Hayes in the 37. Stravato goes up to 5th.
Well, Stravato, my pick tonight, already got a little bit of damage, but I mean, at a track like this, it's really only going to hurt you in those long banked corners. I think he'll be okay in the technical parts of the track, as long as a little mechanical damage could hurt you, though.
It could, yeah. And Faircloth almost got up into the side of Mayato. He'll get passed by Shieldhouse. And Shieldhouse moves his way up into 8th. Mayato overcooked the first part of the last chicane here, and Faircloth almost got into the side of him. And now up ahead of them, Stravato gets by his teammate Bailey Turner for the 4th position. The Waste Management 33 working his way up through the field already.
You heard us talking about him. He's up in the top 5 now. He's got the pole sitter in front of him, and this will crack the top 3. He's right up on the bumper now. Look at him catching him.
Yeah, Golly just doesn't have the speed yet, it seems here. As you can tell now, Stravato, like we said, one of the better road racers, I would say, up in this field. He is definitely starting to move his way, getting his way through traffic here. I believe you're going to see him probably get by Golly at the pace he's going, and I guarantee you we'll see Jeff Wright, Baffert, and Stravato definitely be in this top 3. Now Brody Hayes making a move to the inside of Bailey Turner.
Big move there into the chicane. What a slide. He gets by him. A little bit of drift mode there. A little Kim block to get around him.
A great move by Brody Hayes. Now looks like Turner going to cross him over here, but he'll stay in behind.
I tell you what, there's a lot of moves that have happened in these races that you're just like, I can't believe he got away with that.
Oh, yeah.
And you're going to see that here tonight. Some guys are going to hop what we call the turtles, send it up into the outside of the corner. It's going to open up the door. And if you think these guys aren't hungry, they're going to take advantage of every opportunity they can get to get a position.
Oh, absolutely. And like we say, those turtles, those big blue curbs on the inside, not the rumble strips, the big blue curbs on that, onto driver's right and driver's left. When they get to them, if you hit them with, especially with these cars, it'll definitely knock the car either sideways or just straight up knock it off of its wheels. Oh, Ben Baffert
23.
overcuts the corner.
That's going to allow the 54 to catch up tremendously. He had about 7/10. It's now down to about 2/10 of a second as they come into the turns 1 and 2. I call it 1 and 2.
NASCAR 1 and 2.
NASCAR 1 and 2. Yeah, I can't really label these turns. I get lost in this place. There's a lot of snaking around, and the infield, I think there's about a total of, 7 turns in the infield alone?
Yeah, 7 turns, and then there's 2 turns right here on this chicane here, this backstretch chicane. And you can see a lot of guys sliding around. Golly, when able to put the power down, that allows the 33 of Stravato underneath him here for the 3rd spot. And it looks like Stravato's going to do that consistently.
Yep, taking advantage of every chance he gets, and now they're in the final chicane just before the finish line. Move the 33 up to P3. We've seen a lot of moves, and unfortunately for Dennis Faircloth, kind of fallen back a little bit. He started up there. He started in 9th. He worked his way up into probably the 6th or 7th position, but he's since fallen off a little bit. And I don't know if maybe the 80 machine is saving his stuff for the second half of this race.
Yeah, do it the ticker. I think we might want to put the ticker up there.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. We are 5 laps already into this race, but yeah, Yusuf Ghali kind of fallen back a little bit, and like you said, Faircloth, he won the contender race last year at Road America, which is a 4.5 mile road course, a little bit bigger, a lot bigger than this mile, or was it 2.5 mile road course? But it's always good to see these stock cars take a left and rights, as you can see here, and up on the NASCAR 1 and 2 here. Jeff Wright already a 2.5 second lead over Ben Baffert here. And then it's kind of stacked up. Baffert's kind of gotten a gap over Stravato. Then Ghali and Hayes have kind of been battling at it. They got Bailey Turner slowly but surely right behind. And Mayato's kind of slowly keeping back there as well.
So hard fails here tonight. I apologize. There's a lot of things that I got to click. And, I've been really confused here in the last 4.5 minutes. But nonetheless, man, a lot of action going on the track. And that's part of it. You get so involved. Look at these passes going on. The top 5 has changed so much from the start of this race. AJ Stravato working his way up into the top 5. Started 6th. He's been passing cars, probably one of the quickest gainers here tonight. Yeah, Ghali falling back to 4th, and he's got contact there between the 37. Brody Hayes gets into him there as they enter the first turn.
And think we're into turn 5 here. Hayes roughing Gully up, and looks like Hayes will take that position easily here. And Gully just doesn't seem to have the grip here in this, I guess, beginning stage of the race. Is he saving? That could be a possibility. It just kind of looks like he just doesn't have the comfortability he would like in these corners. Now he'll cross over Hayes here as we're on board with the 54. Allows the 24 to close up as well. Hayes able to keep the spot as they go up and on to the oval banking. And now look at this, 5 cars under a blanket here. And I'll tell you, mid-pack has been kind of wild. Ortega, Sullivan, Mikulski, and Starling have been going at it. A lot of beat-in fenders already. As now up, here comes Yusuf Ghali inside for 5th here to driver's left of Brody Hayes. Hayes taps the wall. Ghali backs out, tries to cross over. Just won't have enough here. Man, great stuff here already from the Charlotte Roval. And looks like Faircloth, Samard, and Glazer are starting to close into this battle, making this maybe a 7 or 8 car battle for the 5th spot.
We saw Keith Mayatu working his way up there to contention, and he's kind of being patient right now. He's got the 24 of Bailey Turner in front of him, but I see a lot of moves happening early in this race. Maybe the tires fall off really quickly here.
Yeah, and there goes Hayes, slips up. That allows Ghali underneath him to driver's left. Ghali backs up, and Hayes misses the corner now. Side by side into turn number 4.
Almost some contact. Opens the door up.
And now look at what a great crossover from Keith Mayado in the 36. He'll get to driver's right of the 24 of Bailey Turner. It's going to get tight here. Bailey Turner pinching him on the curb. Mayado backs out now, goes in by the quarter panel. Looks like he'll force Turner into a mistake. They're going to be side by side in the most narrow part on the racetrack here. Can Mayado hang on that right rear as they get up onto the racetrack? It looks like they will. And now that allows for David Shieldhouse to close in as well in the 20.
Shieldhouse is seeing these guys race side by side. They've lost a lot of ground up there to 6th and 5th spot, but we're going to go into this chicane. It's going to be tight.
It is. And Shieldhouse is going to get underneath Mayado. He'll get by, and now he'll set his eyes on Bailey Turner. Maybe try to get the 2-for-1 special as he gets a great run off of the chicane. And now he'll go to driver's left to Bailey Turner. Turner lets him have it. Move David Shieldhouse up to 6th. And I'll tell you, a change for the 2nd position happened. AJ Stravado was able to get by Ben Bafford, and now he is setting his focus on the 48, and he's cut it down to 0.8 of a second.
All that racing going on back there, and we had a change for 2nd position. I tell you what, Stravado, even with that little bit of right side damage, still looking really strong. You know, I picked him. I picked him, man.
Yeah, you picked him. I picked the leader. I mean, we got some good picks, and I'll tell you, behind them for 4th, the battle's still going on between Hayes and Ghali. These guys sliding all over the racetrack here as Ghali continues to put pressure on the 37 V-Speed machine of Brody Hayes. These guys slipping and sliding around already. And remember, we got a 25-lap run. There are plenty of time, or there's plenty of time to save tires, and there's plenty of time to lose a lot of grip in these tires. And I'll tell you, through the mid-pack here, guys have kind of settled out inside the top 10, and I'll tell you, a lot of battling all over this racetrack.
We'll go back to your 10th position driver, Chris Simmer, and
in front of the leader, Zach Smith is around in the chicane.
The one machine, I just got it there in the frame. We're going to go back and take a little quick replay of that.
He's going to reset here. Lisa Manueli also spun off of turn 4. We'll see what happened to Zach Smith.
Like that little bit of wheel hop that you talked about.
And he goes
a little
right
bit of wheel
around
hop there.
Ooh, got stuck on those turtles. And the good thing he pulled it out of the way because the leaders were coming. And I'll tell you, AJ Stravado is now hounding that 48 of Jeff Wright. And we're getting into lap traffic. Oh, Gilmore's in the grass. Just misses it, misses the leaders here.
Tried to hop onto that car. Gilmore got off the corner a little bit wide and got into that grass, and it pulled him off the track. So we'll go back and check Gilmore. He actually hit pit road now, so he towed out. A lot of these drivers that have made big mistakes, it's been detrimental. And I mean, you get in these situations where you get a lap down, you go off the track in front of the leaders. You just kind of got to decide, like, am I in the way? Am I going to hinder someone else's race? And I think that's kind of the decision making for some of these guys. Just take it back to the pit and rethink it a little bit.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, we got, it's crazy. We got like separate 2-car breakaways. We got the top two, then Baffert's kind of pulled away from Brody Hayes and Golly. And then you got Shieldhouse, and then you got Turner and Mayato, almost got into the back of Turner. Turner throwing a block on him, coming out of coming off of turn 7 out of that chicane. And now Mayato's going to try to find a way here around. And I'm noticing after they get out of the infield, a lot of different lines are being taken throughout the and getting back onto the oval. As you can see, oh, Golly hits the outside wall. Man, he is just beating the snot out of that race car. And I'll tell you, he is all over the place, right behind Brody Hayes, and Hayes is sliding around as well. And look at that black, white, and orange Chevrolet Camaro closing in on them. That's David Shieldhouse, the winner at Homestead, already putting that. He was saying he's not sure how he's going to do on road course. He started 11th, already up into 6th. He's trying to get inside the top 5. And right now, with the way the 54 and the 37 are pushing the limits of their cars already, Shieldhouse has a pretty clean race car.
Seen a lot of cars with right side damage. We're going to turn. The 37 is spinning. That's Brody Hayes.
And Hayes gets going, contact with the pole sitter, Yusuf Ghali. And Hayes goes for a little bit of a spin. And oh, Glazer and Samar make contact into the wall. And Hayes is going to lose 5 or 6 positions. Take a look at what happened.
We're going to back it up a little bit further. We had this on the screen just on the edge, and then we saw the 37 just kind of go sideways, and I missed exactly what happened, but it looked like the 54 just gets the inside and wheel hops him.
Yeah, that's just aggressive driving right there. And yeah, he just drove into the quarter panel of the 37 and spun him out. I mean, we're only 10 laps into this race, very aggressive early, and I'm sure Brody Hayes is not going to be too happy with him. And remember, there's going to be a restart. And if that 37 gets up to the 54 again, I'm sure there'll be a little contact.
Yeah, there's about, I would say, a 7-second difference now between Ghali and Hayes. But yeah, that 37 gets back up there after this pit stop. He's going to be coming.
Yeah, he's not going to be too happy with him. And I'll tell you, the battle for the lead is heating up. AJ Stravato now on the back bumper of the Cobalt Tools machine of Jeff Wright. Stravato, man, I'll tell you, he has been on it, and he's going to be in a good spot here. We got lap traffic coming up here. I believe that's Timmy Emanuele, and you can see as they go on to NASCAR Turn 1 and right on the Jeff Wright. You can see on board, you got Timmy Emanuele. Wherever they can run up here, Stravato can maybe try to use that lap car as a pick. And I'll tell you who's closing in behind these guys, that yellow and purple Toyota Supra of Ben Baffert. He's been able to save his tires and bring it up here, and he might be battling with these two. As you can see, Emanuele gets out of the way here. Nice respect. A lot of respect there for Timmy Emanuele getting out of the way here and letting the leaders go. Now it's just these two going to be going at it here.
Well, we saw Ben Baffert has this speed. He started outside the pole, and he has been saving his tires. But these guys get racing side by side through the technical parts. That could allow Baffert to catch up. And hey, I tell you what, Stravato has been flirting with that wall. He's been taking some chalk dust off of it.
He sure has. You can see that right side. He's used up a little bit there, and Stravato, he's got to keep the tires under him. I think Jeff Wright, he's been in the lead here, so it might be just good enough for Wright to, maybe this entire run he's been saving tires, and now when somebody tries to pressure him, he has the grip in those tires to be able to get off the corners, use the drive off. But it just seems like Stravato just has a little more turn than Jeff Wright.
He's definitely driving it deeper into the corners as we watch his run there on that last corner we watched on board. He is driving and braking a little bit later than the 48, but the 48 not braking that deep is going to save the right front. And when we get through these technical parts, that's going to come into handy.
It definitely is. Look at the difference in the lines they were using off of the corner. If we get it next lap, Jeff Wright uses a much higher exit and stays higher in NASCAR 1 than AJ Stravato. But man, look at Stravato over the curbs, hops it. Wow, a ton. Pretty much got his whole right side of the car on it. And it looks like Wright able to open up an advantage here off of the chicane and now into NASCAR 3 and 4. And then setting up for this final right and left-hander.
They look back here in the gearbox, like how much later the 33 brakes and he gets run right up on the corner. But like you said, he's hopping those curbs and he's not able to get back to speed as early. That's going to hinder his ability, I think, as the race goes on.
Brody Hayes and Eric Hutton have a lot of damage on their cars, and they're back in 11th and 12th. Eric Hutton he no longer has a front bumper on that machine. Looks like a modified. And I'll tell you, there's a lot of damage on the back end of Brody Hayes' car, and I'm going to say that the 88's front nose might be a culprit to that back end being torn off. And look at that, right on the back bumper of the 37.
No regards for that radiator. There's a bar in front of it, so he's going to use it.
Absolutely. Eric Hutton, man, how about him? He's having himself a great run. I think he started 19th. He's up inside 11, trying to get inside the top 10 in that Canes 88 machine. And now he'll go down the inside. He started 13th, I believe. And now he's battling here for the top 10. Seth Hatchell right behind them. He's starting to put some pressure.
Seth Hatchell, and that was another guy that I considered picking right now. Kind of struggling a little bit, but he's stuck back there in the 12th position. We had Eric Hutton starting in 17th. Seth Hatchell started in 19th. So
wow.
A lot of positions gained for these guys, yeah.
Definitely some big movers throughout this field. And I'll tell you, good battle for the 18th position. Reggie Ortega, Max Cost, Casey Lacatus going at it right now. Here you can see those three going at it. Ortega, these guys surprisingly have kept it pretty clean. A lot of these cars are nice and clean. Lacatus starting to make his way up through the field. He's up into the 20th position. He's got a little damage to the right side of that car. And you can see the leaders on the other side of the racetrack, on the other side of that wall. They feel the pressure here. And it's pretty much a 3-car breakaway. They got about an 8-second gap over 4th place Yusuf Ghali. Baffert has continued to reel these guys in. Now the question is, can he make the pass on these guys? 10 laps to go before the stage end. And if I'm mistaken, I believe only the leader gets a point, which is, I believe, a bonus point for the chase, just like it would be in the Real Cup Series, the real stages. I believe there is a bonus playoff point on the line here, or chase point, if you so will, for the stage win. And I know a lot of these, I know all 3 of these guys would like to get it.
Well, I tell you what, Jeff Wright is in the right position to get that. You see what I did there?
Yeah, I think the pun was intended.
Yeah, the 48 car looking really strong here tonight. Took advantage right at the start of the race where there was a little slip up with the 54, and then he swooped in there for the kill. Hasn't looked back since. 0.5 of a second over AJ Stravato as we approach that 25 lap cutoff. And that playoff point is oh so important. They add up over time.
I'm curious to see, oh man, Stravato very, very loose on the entrance to the corners. I don't know if, do we have it on board with Ben Baffert? I'd love to see what he's maybe doing, because he's been catching these guys a ton these last few laps.
Taking the nose camera here with the 23, and he's got a little right side damage. He does have a little right side damage, but I don't think that he has enough to get up there to the 48, but he is definitely all over AJ Stravato through these corners.
Yeah, you can see here, and then off of turn 4, I believe this is, and you go over that rumble strip now, and this is probably the most technical part of the course. You go up a hill, up on the hill here. Nice, you got to keep it nice and tidy. Maybe clip that rumble strip right there. Set up for the left-hander, and then another left-hander coming up. And this is a very important left-hander. One of the most important corners on this racetrack. Setting up the run for the NASCAR 1 and 2, where the most momentum needs to be carried. See, he gets a high, wide arc, and then swoops it down in the corner, trying to carry as much momentum. Like you said, Jeff Wright starting to open up that gap over Stravato, and Baffert starting to close in on that 33. And man, Stravato is just hanging that rear end out going on the entry. Those brakes have got to be overheating a little bit.
Brakes are hot, the tires are hot, but they're coming down to 10 to go in this stage break. And I tell you what, Stravato has done one heck of a job driving up there the way he did. We had all the advantages of drivers that started up on the pole, but they made a little bit of mistakes, and these guys were just there to capitalize on it.
Absolutely. You know, one thing I'm looking interested to see, we talk about the stage. We've seen some stage strategy even in the real NASCAR series. Does any of these 3 try to pit before the stage? You know, try to get that track position. Don't pit after the stage. Maybe pit before. Try to jump these guys when the caution comes out. And then you'll be able to have the lead. Yeah, you might have 1 lap extra on tire wear, but is it going to mean enough, especially with track position? Is it going to be worth it if you stay out here, or is it going to be worth it if you pit early? Do we see one of these guys like maybe Yusuf Ghali, David Shieldhouse, Bailey Turner? Do they try to stay out here, or do they try to pit? Sorry, do they try to pit? Try to maybe get some extra track position here for this next restart if we get there. And if they do, it probably will be within the next, I don't know, probably 8 or 9 laps before the pits close.
Yeah, I would have to say that pits are going to close probably 2 laps before the stage break. So if they're going to do that, they're going to have to do it on about lap 22. And I maybe could see somebody outside the top 10 pulling that move, but with these guys in a track position, they know they're going to get grouped back up. They're not too worried about those guys that are back there. You know, it's sorry to say, but there is a reason some of these guys are back there. So they know that they're going to be easy to pass, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Wow, we're going a little harsh today.
I was getting a little harsh. I'm sorry, but
Yeah,
you know, like as a racer's perspective, you gotta weigh your options.
Yeah,
And you know, you just gotta see it for what it is. Some of these guys are struggling here tonight.
You can tell. I mean, sometimes road courses just aren't the forte of some of these drivers, and sometimes they are. Like Jeff Wright, always known him as one of those road ringers, as they call him. So, tell you, a lot of battling going on in the mid-pack. Brody Hayes kind of pulled away from Eric Hutton, but Chris Martin has fallen back. He's lost spots to Hayes, Hutton, and Hatchell, and now he might lose one to Bentley Glazer in the 87.
Moving through this field, this is just outside the top 10. You can see these guys in the 87 machine. Bentley Glazer is he's looking strong though. He is. He's been maintaining his starting position. It's just outside the top 10 for now. He's got a little rear end damage, and I'm not quite sure where he picked that up. If maybe somebody got into the back of him, it looks pretty centered there. But
yeah, a lot of guys have damage.
Yeah, I mean, it's just different breaking points around this track. Everybody has their own line, and hypothetically, let's say you're a guy you're not familiar with. You're racing around them. You don't know their line. You don't know how they're going to get around this place. Mistakes happen. Sometimes you get into the back of a guy.
Yeah, it's just the nature of the beast, as they say. And Bentley Glazer, a rookie, I believe he is the second highest rookie in the field so far. David Shieldhouse was able, and I'll tell you, these rookies, they've been able to win races. Look at David Shieldhouse, obviously at Homestead, Miami. And then Bentley Glazer was actually able to win the Clash at Daytona and kicked off the season with the win. So, you know, these rookies showing up here lately in 2 different winners so far, and we might, looking at the top 5, or top 4, get a third different winner already in the first 3 races. So, looking at Casey Lacatus, I believe made a pass on Reggie Ortega for the 18th position.
Yeah, Dallas Sullivan there in the 17th position, and Casey Lakatos, I believe that's how that's pronounced.
I think it's Lakatos.
Lakatos? Okay.
Lakatos,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you know, a lot of new names in here this season.
A lot of names, yes.
Yeah. and I tell you what, I'm going to butcher them for at least a week.
It's okay. We got plenty of weeks to work it out. See, I think we got, what do we got? 20 races this year? So we got another 17 to go. So plenty of time to get these names. And I know for you, obviously doing Contender last year, not a lot of these guys were with you. Most of these guys came from the the Premier Series last year, and now we're watching the series merged together.
Merged it all, so. Yeah. Some familiar names for me: Keith Mayatu, Dennis Faircloth, Eric Hutton, and Jeremiah Vincent was another guy over in the Contender Series. Nick Starling, which actually I think helped admin there. I was kind of interested to see if I'd see Alan Dyson here tonight, but you know, a lot of familiar names and a lot of new names. I am familiar with David Shieldhouse. I'm familiar with AJ Stravato. This Jeff Wright guy that's been leading this thing since lap 1. Yeah, I'm getting familiar with him. But yeah, a lot of new names in here, and it's good to see that you know, a league like that can have separate series merged together and mesh so well. That just shows you what a great operation that BTDY is putting on.
Absolutely, one of the best leagues in all of the service, I would say, and such a competitive league throughout all the drivers here. And talk about competitive, Eric Hutton. That 88 Canes Chevrolet Camaro, that car is competitive. Even with no front bumper on it, he is pressuring that 37 of Brody Hayes.
He is the physical definition of competitive with no front end, and he's still in the top 10.
Yeah. It shows the aero doesn't matter too much, at least on the slower part of the track. I'm sure when we get to the bigger part of the track, probably not as fast, but I think
he stays tucked in. He stays tucked in behind Brody Hayes, and he'll be okay.
He's got to be careful, though. You don't want to hit Brody again, because that radiator is exposed, and I know if you do make some contact, those pressures will start going up. And oh, trouble! Dennis Faircloth, the head of these guys, has spun in the chicane. He's going to get it going here, but that's going to allow Hayes, Hutton, Hatchels. Oh man, Bentley Glazer over the Turtles harshly. It looks like he'll fall outside the top 10 there.
That's
he'll
a
be
shame.
back hard. Yeah.
That's a shame for
Unfortunate.
Dennis. He had such a great race. I believe his victory last season was at a road course, so he's one of the guys. He was one of those guys that definitely could perform here tonight. And
Curious to see what happened.
he's got a stage. We're gonna back it up. He does have a stage to recover from this, but I mean, outside of that, it's just gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough.
Yeah. Like I said, they got the stage here coming up in 5 laps here, but we'll take a look at what happened here.
We're gonna back it up a little bit more.
There we go. So I think it might have been another case of wheel hop here. As you can see, he's all by himself. I know there was a lapper ahead of him. I think that was Mark McFadden in the 99. You'll see here.
Oh, he slides in. He hits him.
Hop. Yeah, there's a big wheel hop right there. I think that was the exact case of it, and gets into the 99 there. No harm, no foul. It doesn't look like there's too much damage on his car, as you can see, just overshoots it. Man.
He swerved to avoid McFadden as well, and that was a heads-up move. You know, you're not going to make that corner and try not to take a guy out. So heads-up move by Dennis, but that's going to be tough to overcome.
Yeah, and right now a change of position. David Schildhouse has passed the 54 of Yusuf Ghali with that 20 Heartbeat Hot Sauce Chevrolet, last race winner at Homestead, Miami. He's up into the 4th spot. I think he started like in 11th outside the top 10, and he's well inside the top 5.
Another guy that we want to talk about here for a second, a guy that elected not to take a qualifying effort. He started in 19th. He's in 10th position. That's Seth Hatchell in the 8 machine. I tell you what, that's a lot of cars to pass in such a short period of time. We're coming up on the stage break, and he's worked his way up into the top half of the field. What do you see for Seth Hatchell?
I mean, with the pace he's going here, he's right where he needs to be. He's running inside top 10 lap times. He's a little bit faster than the guys behind him, and it seems like the top 10 have kind of pulled away. They're about, in their lap range. Hatchell, he's just as fast as the guys ahead. Obviously, his tires might be a little bit more used up just because he's had to go through so many cars, but the speed he's showing, definitely showing he deserves to be in the top 10. I'll tell you, a lot of big movers from starting outside the top 10 and now in the top 10. Schildhouse is one of them, obviously running the highest. Then you've got Eric Hutton, who started 17th. He's running 9th. You got Hatchell right here running 10th, started 19th. So you got a lot of big movers so far. So always good to see. And now it's, once the stage caution comes out, how are they going to shape up with everybody, again, getting restacked?
Well, I tell you what, I think we're going to see a little less mistakes. I think pre-race jitters are out the window now. You had Yusuf Ghali, who's going to be looking to get back up there into the top spot, started on the pole, and he's struggling a little bit right now. I mean, let's put it in perspective. You've got guys that have climbed their way, they've clawed their way from outside the top 10 up into the top 10. They're not going to want to give up those spots. I think it got a lot tougher than the start of this race to gain positions after this stage.
Track position is going to be huge, especially, like you said, once we get a little bit further into this race. Track position is going to be huge, and as we come to the end of the stage, you're going to definitely want to have be ahead. Bailey Turner really loose into the corner, allowing Keith Mayato to close up here on that 36 car. He'll go to driver's right, maybe try to cross over, or maybe he'll just set him up for the into NASCAR 1 and 2 here. Looks like Bailey Turner starting to struggle. Everybody's starting to struggle with handling on these race cars. And right now, like I said, there's not too many more battles. I think we're starting to get a lot spread out as this race has continued. But like we said, track position is going to be so important, especially as this race continues to go on here. And, road courses always come to mind, and very narrow, mile and a half maybe, or repaves. Very important for track position. It's going to be up to now. We got trouble in front of the leaders. Dallas Sullivan, I believe, has spun off of turn 1, and Max Cost up into the outside wall.
Let's take a back look at that. I seen the initial end of that. Let's go back just a few seconds here.
Take a look there. I think, Dallas, I don't know if he got loose or just tried to let the leaders by here. Saw some smoke.
He did slide. He's got a lot of damage. Yeah, he lost control of it. A little wheel hop and got it sideways. But right in front, we had the 65 tag the wall. A few different incidents there, but I think the leaders were okay through there.
Yeah. I think the battle for the Lucky Dog is definitely going to heat up with the 63 at Cost, the 2 of Reggie Ortega. That's going to be the battle for the Lucky Dog. And right now, he's got a 5-second lead. You know what? Adrian Stravado lost the spot to Ben Baffert. He's fallen back to third. Oh, Koss misses the chicane.
Oh boy, 63 is going to lose that lucky dog position. That's going to put the 99 in position maybe to catch up to him now.
No, I believe it's the two of Ortega just went by. I don't know if he's got a problem. Yeah, no, Ortega now in position for the lucky dog, and Dallas Sullivan chasing him.
Well, this is setting up. We got 24 laps completed here. One more until they take stage break. I don't know. I don't know if the 46. This is probably the closest battle on the field is actually for the lucky dog position right now because 5-second gap.
Well, Eric Hutton and Seth Hatchell are going at it, and I think that's for the 9th position here. Remember, no stage points for up here. It's only the stage point to the leader of that leads lap 25. I think we all know that's going to be Jeff Wright, who's got a 5-second lead over Ben Baffert, or 4-second lead, excuse me, over Ben Baffert in that 23 car. And Stravado really starting to struggle. He's definitely lost a lot of lap time there. He turned a 132. I don't know if he might have spun or not, but take a look at what happened.
He's got a little left front. He's got a little left front damage, and we haven't seen that on the machine yet tonight. So, yeah, maybe he did have an accident. I can tell you this, though. Jeff Wright, we were counting him to lead. Yeah. Oh, we got it. Like I said, I was just about to mention it. We had a spinner right in front of the leader. Oh. You never know what could happen here. And, yeah.
Carey. Justin Carey's around.
Justin Carey goes around in the chicane there. I was just about to mention we were saying Jeff Wright's got a huge lead and he's got this locked up, but you could have lap car just end that for you.
Oh yeah, I think Wright's got one more lap here to complete this. I think it's the completion of lap 25. Yeah, looking at the replay, Stravado did have a little off-track excursion. He went off the track and tapped the tire barriers going up the hill in turn 5. So yeah, that's where that front damage came from. Other than that, he still has been running down Baffert a little bit.
I actually tried to get my bookmarks working again. I'm gonna have to figure that out so we can go back and find some things that happened like that. That was a pretty big jump for me. But yeah, the 33. I tell you what, man, I picked him to win this race. He's got a chance to recover, but he's got a lot of damage on the front end of that machine. He's gonna have to get repaired. Actually, both sides of that thing worn off right now.
Hey, everybody but Jeff Wright, I think, has damage. Really, a lot of guys have been able to keep it somewhat clean. I think Bailey Turner, Shieldhouse is pretty clean. Mayato's pretty clean, but right now, I think we're coming to the completion of stage break. Jeff Wright all by himself, almost 5 seconds, a gap over Ben Baffert here. And that battle from 8th and 9th still going on between Eric Hutton, Brody Hayes, and Seth Hatchell. And it's about the closest Eric Hutton's been these last few laps. They go up the hill into 5, or sorry, into up 5, and now downhill off of 6 into 7. And they'll go off of turn 8 here and go back onto the oval.
Well, we're going to go watch the 48. We're going to watch the 48 take the line for the stage break here. Eric Hutton, we're going to rewind back here. Sat Hatchell into the inside, and the yellow flag is out. And, yeah, that's gonna complete the stage. Freeze the field. Your winner of the stage here, the 48, Jeff Wright, getting it done. Started 3rd. Made quick work of the leaders. And runs away with a 6-second lead here before the stage break.
Absolutely. Heck of a stage there for Jeff Wright. Led from the first lap on. I think he's led every single lap in this event so far. We maybe cut to a quick commercial break before pit stops. And then we'll be back here for pit stops and then the restart, obviously.
All right. We're going to join you back, BTDY, for the second half of this race. And we appreciate your time. Share, like, follow. We'll see you back right after this.
Sailor Tarot Magic is the spot to get a reading from Sally, an intuitive healer and tarot reader. known as the Nurturing Reader at New Jersey Street Fairs. You can also check out our YouTube channel for lunar and astro readings, as well as our Instagram for live weekly readings. Her rates are affordable, and you will leave with a newfound perspective. Sally is now offering an introductory class on tarot cards and intuition, and is available for parties. Call or text 732-314-0777 to schedule your reading today.
Back live, BTDY, and I tell you what, it's shaping up. We actually got a little worried there for a second because we saw the 48, and I don't know if his car shut off or what happened to him, but we're getting ready for green flag pit stops. Martin Sports 125 at the Roval. Well, yeah, okay, caution pit stops. My bad.
You're good.
So we got a lot of guys out here going to take 4 tires for sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and the very, very crucial pit stops here for the whole field here. At least the guys on the lead lap. I think Ortega was able to get the lucky dog here. But Jeff Wright's going to bring it down, lead the whole top 18 into pit road here. Baffert hot on his tail. Now it's all up to the pit crews here. Who is going to give you the best stop here? Who's going to get the best stop as...
We just about saw some contact there between the 23 and the 48. Jeff Wright and Baffert just about clipped each other going into their stalls. Baffert had the stall in front of the 48, but the 48 had to check down, and there we go. Shieldhouse on the outside. It's a close race off of pit road.
Wright missed the pit exit.
Oh, no.
I think he thought it was like the real old. I think he thought it was the oval, and he missed it. And that's going to allow... Did David Shieldhouse get out first? We're going to find out.
No, Shieldhouse got out third, I think, or second. He beat Stravato barely. Let's go back and watch this again.
Jeff blew the pit exit there. I didn't think he was going to the turn.
Let's watch this from... Yeah, let's watch this from... I don't know. I got it. Maybe a different angle. Let's put this in slow motion.
Yeah.
He gets pushed. I think he gets pushed by the 23.
Yeah, I think he forgot to turn. I don't know where he's going to fall back to. I think he got out second. I think the 23 car beat him out of pit road there on the pit exit.
So we're going to watch this stop. There was a little bit of contact here with the 23 and the 48, but I want a better angle of this if I can. I'm trying to find the best angle I can. Maybe the chopper camera.
Yeah. See, good pit stop there from the 23. 23 was off the jack first.
Yeah, 23 got out, but I think the 23 gets to the inside of the 48. He just guns it and goes straight into the wall. He missed it. He missed it.
Focused on beating Baffert there.
Wow. Yeah, just incredible turn of events here for the 48.
He beat Baffert. He beat Baffert off the pit road, so he'll be the leader.
Wow, that's incredible. iRacing let him have that position back.
Apparently so, and Bafford's going to be in second. How about David Shieldhouse up to third? Shervado up to fourth. Keith Mayato up to fifth. Bailey Turner, Yusuf Ghali, I believe, lost some positions there. Dennis Faircloth gained a lot. He's up to eighth.
Faircloth needed to gain a lot. He had a tough break there and missed that chicane with the wheel hop, and he's going to have to recover a little bit from that. But I tell you what, Jeff Wright, thank goodness for iRacing's timing and scoring.
Oh, yeah, if that was NASCAR, I think he would have lost probably like 5 or 6 positions there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like I said, we've leveled this playing field out. Question is, Bailey Turner coming back? Oh, no, he's not. So, yeah, now we've leveled the playing field here. We got to restart. Everybody's going to reset here. The question is, how aggressive are these guys going to be on this restart when they can get all they can get here? I believe pace car lights will go off, and I don't know if we got one to green here. But, man, this restart's going to be so important for so many drivers. And can they beat Jeff Wright is the question.
We saw a lot of people taking advantage on that first start, and initially your tires really clean and fresh. You can make some gutsy moves, but it can come back to haunt you. You saw that happen to some of these guys in the first half of the race. They ran it really hard, they used up their stuff, and fell out of the top 10. I don't know that the 23 pushes the issue with the 48 until maybe 5-6 to go. If he can hang with them here, I think that's when you make your move.
I feel like the clean air is what's going to be nice. I think that's what definitely helped Jeff Wright is clean air. We don't really talk about that a lot on road courses, but I think it matters a little bit, for especially like a track like here, with such heavy braking zones. There's nobody. I think the great thing with Wright was he was able to kind of pull away and kind of save his fuel a little bit. I think now it's kind of up to the issue of can Wright be able to hold off a hard-charging Ben Bafford. And, we haven't talked about David Shieldhouse. Can Shieldhouse maybe play spoiler? He hasn't been up racing with these guys. Can he maybe try to jump and maybe send it 3 wide into the corner here?
Well, I tell you what, you give a glimpse of the lead of that 36, and he's going to take advantage of it too. And Mayatu is another one of those hard chargers that you got to look out for. There's going to be a lot of pressure on this 48 for sure. Bafford able to hang with him all the way through that first half of the race. We had a 3-car stint kind of break away. Stravado kind of fell off there towards the end of it. Shieldhouse hasn't really shown his hand yet because, like you said, he was so far back in the field, he had to work his way up into the top 5. I don't know. I really don't know what's going to happen here.
Yeah, it's gonna be aggressive. That 54 car, I can see him maybe sending it up the inside 3 wide to driver's left. So it's gonna be interesting here. We still got how many cars on the racetrack? 20 cars up on the racetrack here.
Yep, and about 18 of them on the lead lap. So you've got guys that are we don't have full course cautions. We've seen that tonight.
Unless there's a big wreck, which is possible here.
Yeah, it is possible, and especially in the chicanes. I think right now, if you're the 48, don't open the door. You don't want to make a mistake that opens up the door because these guys are going to jump on it.
This is going to be a very important restart for Jeff Wright. Does David Shieldhouse try to maybe get it down to the inside and shoot it 3 wide here?
Pace car about to make that left-hander down to pit road. We're going to go green for the second time tonight. Second half of this race presented by Martin Sports. Green flag is out, and we're live back. Martin Sports 125 at the Roval.
Oh, Shieldhouse didn't get a good restart there. There goes Ghali down to the inside, sending it 3 wide here. It's going to be tight. He's going to clip the curb into Shieldhouse.
Little contact there with the 54 and the 20. Mayatu on the outside, the 24 in the middle.
There goes Bafford to the outside.
Contact, the 24, the 37.
Into the wall. Everybody wrecking. It's a pileup off of turn 4. Bailey Turner's around. The VSPEED cars are involved as well. And Turner's going to lose a ton of positions. Stopped in the middle of the racetrack.
No yellow for that, and I believe that was that close enough to the pileup. I don't know. A lot of these cars got back running really quickly. Let's go back and take a look at that.
Yeah. Man, that was a hard hit for Brody Hayes. You can see Ghali sends it 3 wide, and then go 3 wide here again. See, Mayato gets into Ghali, into Bailey Turner, and Brody Hayes, a hard hit.
And that 24 Bailey Turner just gets turned in the middle of the track, has nowhere to go. He can't get out of the way. So he
Yeah,
just
he
has to
must
pray
stay there.
everyone drives past him.
That gave a lot of guys a lot of track position. How about Dennis Faircloth up in his 6th? Eric Hutton up in his 7th. Bentley Glazer. No, how about Noah Mikulski up at 11th in that 10 cars? You can see a lot of cars. A big damage there to Brody Hayes and big damage to Keith Myatt. I think Faircloth even got a piece of it as well. And it looks like Bailey Turner suspension damages. Oh, Dallas Sullivan gets into the 50 and he almost spins him on the front stretch that allows Starling to get some positions. And now Starling underneath Casey Lakatos. Lot of beating and bang going on mid-pack here.
Let's go back and look at that. You had
Big
Dennis.
change.
So we had several different cars here, but these guys got into each other in the chicane, and then they went 3 wide. Starling had to weave through.
A lot of big
Or-
moves here.
Organized chaos is what we're going to
It
call
is.
this.
I tell you, the battle for the lead is heating up. Jeff Wright, AJ Stravato. Stravato looking down to the inside of driver's left. Stravato, a big run on a NASCAR 1. He'll block the 33, and now Ben Baffert has lost a lot of time to them, about a 1.5 seconds behind. Shieldhouse into 4th. Gawley back up to 5th. Faircloth about a second from them with Eric Hutton.
Contact.
Along. Oh, man.
There was a
This is
little
gonna be a good
contact there. The 33 and the 48 as they came through that final or that first chicane. The 33 gave him a little tap on the right rear. I thought it was going to upset the 48, but he's able to run away, and this is what we were talking about. Don't make a
Oh.
mistake that's going to open up the door here.
There goes Shieldhouse underneath Baffert looking at drivers right now. Gawley, wow, really overcooks the corner, and he hits the turtle. I think might have hit the right side of that car in the wall. And now that allows Dennis Faircloth, Eric Hutton. How about Eric Hutton up to 7th, Hatchell up in the 8th. This guy's having a heck of a run so far, especially with that incident with the 36, 37, and 24. The leaders, though, right, able to pull away, but this is probably the most pressure he's had. Remember when we had the beginning of this race, Wright was able to open up about a 2-second gap over AJ Stravato before Stravato had to run him down. With this restart, Stravato's been at least a 1/2 second gap behind him now. Wright definitely having a lot more pressure to start this runoff.
I tell you what, tough break here. We want to talk about a couple guys that just had tough luck here in this start of this second half. Keith Mayatu all the way back to 16th position. He was up there in the top 5 at one point, looking outside of the top 15. Brody Hayes with no hood now. That machine is heavily damaged. And we were talking about Brody Hayes. He was competing for the top 5 at one point tonight.
Yeah, that's a lot. Like you said, a lot of guys. How about Bentley Glazer up inside the top 10? Noah Mikulski up into 11th. Starling, Lakatos, Sullivan, all able to get big gains out for that incident with the 24 with Turner, Mayato, and Hayes.
Just an unfortunate series of events, and it happens so fast. And these restarts, until these guys get spread out, you're going to see that. We've got a little bit of a spread, about 2 seconds back to 3rd position. Stravato and Wright have pulled away that much in just 3 laps.
Yeah, big gaps. Definitely these two have been the class of the field. Maybe Baffert saving a little tire. Same with Shieldhouse, but I think Baffert got some damage on that restart. I think he tapped the wall there and has lost touch with these top 2. He was with them that last run, and he's now fallen 2 seconds behind them, and still these top 2 battling. Are they pushing their tires hard, and are they burning their stuff off too early? Remember, we still got about 22 laps to go in this race. That is a eternity on these tires here.
So we look back, about 2 second gap from 1st, 2nd, then 3rd, 4th. Youssef Ghali that started on the pole, he's just outside of this battle here for 3rd. I would say Dennis Faircloth, probably the best benefit of all of that catastrophe is the 80 car right now.
And he's even got, I think he got a little piece of it. He's got some left front damage. Behind him is where the gaggle begins. You got Eric Hutton with no front end on that race car. He's holding up Seth Hatchell a little bit. Now you got Chris Samard in the 77. And then Bentley Glazer in that 87 car behind them. He's also closed up here as they go off of the final turn. But like you said, this field getting a little more spread out than it did at the start of the race. Probably a lot because of that incident on the restart there. And we knew that was a possibility with the chaos of the restarts here, especially always on road courses. That definitely was it. It should have been a lot bigger than what it was. But now like you said, Keith Biato, Brody Hayes, Bailey Turner are going to have to dig themselves out of a hole. And I think Bailey Turner is in the pits and he's getting damage fixed and he's running 3 laps down, 20 and 21st.
Yeah, Bailey Turner probably going to be done for the night. That's going to be a hard thing to overcome with no full course cautions. So 24 car behind the wall pretty much for the night, I believe. We've got a few other cars off the track. Timmy Emanuele, Cody Atkins, Kyle Payne, Robert Gilmore, and Zachary Smith have all kind of parked it for the night. A lot of different guys in and out of the top 10. We talked about Yusuf Ghali starting on the pole in the Vans machine. I thought maybe the second half of this race would be his learning and recovery period, but it just seems like he's stationary right now. He's not really gaining, but he's not really losing. What do you think is going to happen as this race progresses? He's in the grass a little bit. He's trimming that, but he's right there with Shieldhouse. He's right there with Baffert. He really overshot that corner, man. He's really flirting with the wall in that exit.
He's using up that car, and like you said, this car's got to last for now 21 more laps. Is it going to? We know Ghali's aggressive. If he uses up his stuff too early, it's definitely going to cause some problems, I think, within that car as this run goes on. As Seth Hatchell behind them has been able to overtake the 88 of Eric Hutton. That moves Hutton back to the 8th position. And now it allows Chris Simard in the 77 and Bentley Glazer in the 87 to close up. And Hatchell now, if he can get a little bit of a gap, to try to run down that 80 of Faircloth.
Do you think maybe that was planned for the 88 of Hutton to just remove that front bumper, keep those front tires cool?
It helps and it doesn't help. I think he likes it for the brakes and the tires, but definitely on the straightaway, he's missing that little bit of extra aerodynamic speed. You can see he loses a lot of speed on the straightaway to Seth Hatchell. And Hatchell now, he like you said, biggest mover of the race so far, and he's setting his eyes on Faircloth for that 6th position.
As they work through the chicane, you've got Dennis Faircloth trying to, you don't want to drive with your mirror, you don't want to feel the pressure, but it is there, and you see that whole gaggle of cars behind you. This is just outside the top 5. And then you've got Yusuf Ghali about 4 seconds ahead of all this, and he's keeping pace with Shieldhouse. Shieldhouse, you know what? I'm going to predict maybe a top 3 here for Shieldhouse.
And he's definitely hounding the back end of that 23 of Ben Baffert. And these guys might be saving these tires. We know those top 2 are fast. They've pulled about 3.5 seconds on these guys, but are they pushing their tires too hard is the question. Because if these guys start falling back to the 23 and the 20, we might end up maybe, and even the 54, we might have a 5-car race at the end of this thing if these top 2 are pushing their tires, too hard. If they are somehow able to keep pace, I guarantee you, with how hard I'm seeing them slide off the corners and get into the gas, these guys are definitely pushing their tires a lot harder than the 20 and the 23. The question is, will the 20 and 23 be able to run them down?
Very easy to get tunnel vision when you see the lead in front of you and you start pushing yourself to just get that spot. It's hard to maintain that gap and realize, okay, maybe I'm using up my stuff. I'm keeping pace with the leader. He's pushing it harder because you're behind him. Then you got these guys back in 3rd and 4th that just appear out of nowhere with 5 to go.
Absolutely, yeah. But man, I tell you, they're losing a little. They're staying very even. That last lap, they were about 1/10 of a second slower. We'll see what they are when we get to this lap. But looking right now, Jeff Wright and AJ Stravato are clearly the class of the field, and our 2 picks.
A little more chalk dust there.
Look at the battle for 3rd. Shieldhouse underneath the 23 of Baffert into turn 1 to driver's left. Shieldhouse is going to slide the back in. They almost make a little bit of contact. Baffert has to lift, and now this opens the opportunity for Ghali to close in. And these guys making a little contact into turn 3. Now up another right-hander into 4. They make more contact, and now that allows Yusuf Ghali in the 54 to close up. Where does he go? He looks middle of these 2. Now Baffert to driver's right of Shieldhouse. Oh man, it's tight. What a send by Shieldhouse. He's able to get it there.
They raced the entire technical part of that circuit.
That is amazing.
Never, a slight contact here and there. Baffert back to the inside.
Wow.
Let's see if he gets a run.
What a move by Baffert. Shieldhouse slams the door on the 23, and he'll take 3rd away, and he'll move himself up inside the top 3, but they lost 3 seconds to the top 2, and now I think even if they've saved enough tire, doesn't matter. That's a far, far gap to really get there. But now Yusuf Ghali has closed in to the 54, or the 54 is closing into the 23. This battle side by side He's able to close up, but now he's starting to lose a little bit. Baffert starting to fall off from Shieldhouse.
Well, Shieldhouse is probably going to be the guy that can get up there to this top 3. I think that Shieldhouse maybe felt like the 23 and races. Oh wow, the 54 off that turtle. But I tell you what, man, is the 20 car of Shieldhouse right now, putting it on. Got around the but they're going back at it. They're going back at it here through these chicanes, through the technical spots again. Side by side, are they going to do it again without making contact?
Oh, man, it's going to get so tight here as you go through 3 up into 4. Can Baffert try to maybe cross him over? Just didn't get the exit. Shieldhouse keeps the position. That allows the 54 of Golly to close back in. Baffert maybe had a little more pace and made a mistake and allowed Shieldhouse to go by. Can Baffert set up the run to 20 now, spinning the tires off of turn 4 or off of turn 5, and now goes into 6 and now off of turn 7, back on to NASCAR 1 and 2. Baffert gets a much wider exit. Can he carry the momentum down this backstretch and off of NASCAR turn 2? Does Baffert try to send it? Shieldhouse able to keep the position and now going into the backstretch chicane. Oh, what a send by Baffert! Look at this!
Taking it to the bottom, all the way on the inside, and he doesn't quite. He missed the corner and slides up in front of Shieldhouse.
Both of them.
Golly gets around for 3rd, and that's going to make a big loss. What a battle back here for 3rd through 5th.
Wow, that was
Let's go back and look at this again.
3rd. Oh, wow, Golly's pitting.
Golly's down pit road, but look at this. Look at this battle right here. This is just sending it in there as hard as you can, wanting that spot.
As good as it gets, and now look at who's closed up to the 23 and the 20s. Oh, Baffert misses the corner again and allows Shieldhouse to close in. How about the 8 of Seth Hatchell? Like you were saying, under the caution, started 19th, got his way inside the top 10 at the first stage, and now in the second stage, up inside the top 5 and closing in on this battle for the top 3.
That's what happens. These guys get racing side by side, especially in the infield when you got to plan those passes and you lose a ton of time racing side by side. Hatchell is taking huge benefits right now. Massive gain here of over 4 seconds.
And they're 10 seconds now behind the top 2, and these guys are still going at it. Oh, Baffert misses a shift, and that allows Shieldhouse to go on by for 3rd.
These guys shuffling back and forth for the podium. What a show. What a show for the second half of this race. Incredible.
Great racing here. Does Baffert maybe try to attack Shieldhouse once again? I'm sure Shieldhouse probably not too happy after he got in, or Baffert got into him the last lap, but man, it cost
overshooting
him
that
so
chicane.
much time.
I would be very upset if a guy overshot a chicane in front of me. I'd probably be trying to drive away from him, which we see Shieldhouse trying to get a little gap to him, trying to get away from that 23 because he knows that we're using up time. We're running out of laps, so we got 15 to go, and we're racing for 3rd. We got to get up there to these leaders.
I'm just curious to see why the 54 pitted. I don't know if he got new tires or not, but I don't know if they didn't fill it up enough, but he had to pit. He's dropped down all the way to 17th.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out. We see if maybe we could get some race info. I don't know. Maybe we need a pit reporter. Can we hire Adam? You think Adam would stand down there in the pit? You think?
I don't know. I think it would be great. I know he's gonna have to fill in for me when I go and race Pocono, and I know we can't have Adam next week because he's gonna be racing next week at Iowa.
Nice. Well, everybody up here at VSPEED, typically, I try to stay in the booth as much as I can. Hasn't really relayed very well. I'm a little rusty, but this week back here at VSPEED, I'm glad to be back. And Alec, it's good to hear your voice. I appreciate everybody at VSPEED. I appreciate the BTDY and everybody that put this on. This has been a great show. Lap 40 out of 55, coming up on 41. Your leader, Jeff Wright, and he's just about a half a second ahead of second place AJ Stravato, David Shieldhouse in 3rd, Ben Baffert and Seth Hatchell, your top 5. And we've been watching this top 3rd through 5th place, just back and forth.
Man, what a show we've been given by these drivers. And this top 2, this battle for the lead has been heating up. But man, this battle for 3rd is still raging on between David Shieldhouse and the 23 of Ben Baffert. Shieldhouse probably not too happy with Baffert lately. And I tell you, these two battling has allowed Seth Hatchell and Eric Hutton in the 88 as well to close in. As Shieldhouse touches the grass there. That allows Baffert to get right on that back bumper, up into turn 5, up the hill, off into turn 6, and then back down the hill. Shieldhouse overcooks the corner again. They go into 7th, get Baffert set up the run down this back stretch here.
Every time I take the camera off, something happens, so I'm just going to leave it pegged right here on the back of Shieldhouse's car. We're going to leave it right here on the 23 because Baffert's coming. He's got heat.
He really does, and he's got a lot of pressure put on this 20. He's made some contact with them already. Deep on the brakes, you can see that car gets closer to the back bumper, and if these two get into it again, I think maybe Shieldhouse will have enough of it and might even turn him at the moment. But if these two start racing again, I would look for that 8 to start running them down.
The 8 car, Seth Hatchell in the 5th position, VSPEED on the hood there. We'll get a little cameo for that. And you know what? I tell you what, this whole top 10 has been super competitive. I told you it's going to be tough to get a spot. It hasn't changed much. Other than the restart where we had that accident there with Mayatu and then I believe it was the 24.
Got Bailey Turner.
Bailey Turner those are the only 2 cars that got knocked out of that top 5, that top 10. Everybody else has kind of stayed the same.
And like we said, man, Baffert and Shieldhouse were only 2 seconds behind the leaders before they started battling. And look at now, they're 10 seconds behind Jeff Wright and AJ Stravato. Stravato still keeping about a half-second gap. When does he try to start pushing that issue for the lead here? But man, keeping the camera on the 20 and the 23.
All the way through the technical parts of this track, that's where these two have really put on the show, side by side through parts of the track that nobody else would really even think is possible.
I mean, could these two, maybe, are we seeing the start of a new rivalry in this series? Is Baffert got a nice run? Does he peek to driver's left? Yes, he does.
He peeked.
Better of it.
He remembers last time. Shieldhouse is no pushover.
No,
if you do him wrong, he will put you back. So you want to plan it carefully at this point because overshooting that chicane probably touched a nerve.
I guarantee you it probably didn't. I thought I heard him come over the radio and say, "What are you doing, Ben?" And now Ben closing into the back bumper. And as you see, that black and blue and gray of Chevrolet Camaro, Seth Hatchell, continues to inch closer to this battle. But at the front, though, Jeff Wright getting some more pressure from AJ Stravato for this lead.
Less than 0.3 of a second now as they come through turn 7. I would say this is the part of the track that you were talking about, that blind corner where you really got to be careful, and a little overshot there by Wright, so you got a little slippery.
Yeah. And Baffert got underneath Shieldhouse, backed off here, and these two are about to go. There's just battles all over the racetrack inside. I wish we could go double box. That would be amazing.
We're going to get it set up.
We're going
to have to get
look
it.
At this. You got Baffert and Shieldhouse going at it, and you got Baffert going to give him a little bit of a bumper up off of the corner and onto the oval. Tell you, Shieldhouse is going to get very fed up with it very quick.
We're going to ride on board here with the 23 of Baffert. Started in the 2nd position. Knows he wants to get back up there in the top 3. And here we go. His favorite part right up on the bumper here.
Oh, my goodness. Locks up the rear tires and almost gets in. And I'll tell you what just happened. Brody Hayes just spun the 54 out.
54 off the... Oh, man, that was tough because Youssef was just pitted, and he had the tires. He was getting around these guys.
And remember what happened earlier in this race. Brody got in, or Youssef spun the 37 early in this race, and I think Brody Hayes returned the favor.
I just went back, and I'm trying to find it. I'm seeing...
Oh, Baffert. We might have to go back to it because Baffert and Shieldhouse are going at it again.
Can't keep up with it. Looking to slide through turn 2. Wow.
Wow, this is amazing stuff here from these two. And now about to be 3 because Seth Hatchell, the 2-time champion, has closed into this battle on board with David Shieldhouse. Baffert peeks the driver's left, backs out of it. Shieldhouse overshoots the corner a little bit, wheel hops into the corner. What does Baffert try to do here? Does he try to cross him over onto the oval? And I'll tell you, man, there's just battles all over this racetrack. Baffert closes in again to Shieldhouse.
Really close to that wall, and I'm losing my voice just thinking about it as they go off into what would be NASCAR 1 and 2. It looks like Shieldhouse is getting a better run off that corner. He's able to pull away and give himself a little bit of room. But here we go into the chicane.
Here comes Seth Hatchell in the 8. He's closed up to the 23's back bumper. Does that put more pressure on the 23 to get by the 20? Overcooks the corner, hits that turtle really hard. And now Shieldhouse able to get about a car length gap over the 23.
Hatchell's just biding his time. He's waiting for these guys to
is.
get into each other. He doesn't want to get involved. He knows that there's some heat there.
He's a two-time champion. He knows what he's doing. He's seeing what's going on ahead of him. He's just waiting to pounce on the opportunity.
Big wheel hop there for the 20 as they come across the finish line, and now they got lap traffic to contend with.
Oh, this is going to hurt Shieldhouse's exit here. Could Baffert cross him over here off the corner?
And there he's inside.
He's there. Oh, he gets into him. He moves him up the racetrack.
A little bit of netcode there. I saw a little bit of gap there, but I guess contact. You did see the 20 move and wiggle, and man, they're just battling hard. A crossover. Nicely done there by the 23. Baffert down to the inside. This is the spot he wants to be.
Oh, man. Sends it. So does the 20. They're going to be side by side up the hill into 6. Shieldhouse, a wide exit. Does Baffert try to cross over here?
Cut it to the inside. If he can get to the inside and get a good run here in 3. Or, 1 and 2. I got NASCAR 1 and 2. Here goes the run.
Oh,
they're
Shieldhouse
weaving.
goes to block.
They're weaving back and forth. 45 laps into this race, 10 to go, and I swear these guys are racing for the win right now.
Here comes the send from Baffert to driver's right, or driver's left. He backs out of it. Shieldhouse shuts the door. Carey misses the chicane behind them, and now here comes, don't look now, here comes the modified of Eric cutting the 88. He's closing up into this battle.
He's catching up to him, and I tell you what, they got bigger and bigger in the windshield every lap that goes by. The 88 of Hutton, the damage on this machine, kudos to him for keeping it where he's keeping it right now. That Canes machine should be behind the wall at this point. It is beat up.
Yeah, he's hauling the mail, as they say, and these guys continuing to put on such a great show. Shieldhouse is able to open up about a 2-car length gap over the 23, and now we'll focus our attention to the battle for the lead. Jeff Wright still about a half a second lead over AJ Servato. Has Wright saved his tires, or has Servato maybe forced Wright to push his stuff a little bit more? But these guys well ahead of third place David Shieldhouse, and there goes Shieldhouse, messes up the corner. That allows Baffert to driver's right. What's going to happen here? Side by side as they get back onto the oval. Oh, messes up.
Oh, the 8's inside. Oh, boy.
Finally got the opportunity, and he'll go by Ben Baffert. This is a spin in 6. I believe it's Carey. But right now, there goes Hatchell. Baffert go with the send of driver's left. Can he complete the pass on Hatchell? Hatchell, very smart, backs out and hits the turtle. Baffert goes wide. Now here comes Hutton to close in on the battle.
These guys just, they paid for extra TV time at this point. They're getting their money's worth. The 8-car of Hatchell has been very, very patient. At this point, he's looking at that 23, and this is great for Shieldhouse because he wants these guys racing behind him. He wants that 23 off his bumper. These guys battled for 10 laps continuously. He's loving what he's seeing in his mirror at this point.
Shieldhouse is saying, thank the Lord, he's gone.
Yeah.
But will Baffert start to fight back, and will he be able to claw his way back to the 20? Man, I tell you, this is as good as it gets here, road course racing here at BTDY. If you're not loving this, I don't know what to tell you. This has just been absolutely amazing, entertaining as you can get here, man. These guys have just been all over each other. These guys have been beating and banging. This is what you want when you see stock cars on a road course.
Faircloth got a little bit loose there, and he's going to drop back a position. It looks like Noah Mikalski actually just flirting with the top 10 there for a second.
He was, yeah, he was inside the top 10. I don't know if Faircloth did not bring it in. Yusuf Ghali brought it in. He's got 8 laps on his tires, but well behind, and he just hasn't had the pace yet with those new tires. And he also did get spun by the 37 of Brody Hayes. How about a shout out to Keith Mayato, who was in that that incident starting on the restart. He's worked his way back inside the top 10 into 9th. And another shout out to Bentley Glazer in the 87, well inside the top 10, running in an 8th. The Clash winner had a bad start at Daytona, had a top 10 finish at Homestead, Miami, and now running inside the top 5 here at the Charlotte Roval.
Well, I can tell you what you were predicting there earlier. Look at the 88 of Hutton. There he comes. He's on the back bumper now of Hatchell.
Hatchell misses the corner.
And Hatchell's going to open up the door big time here through the technical parts in turn 4. Man,
Hutton
I
backed
just Hutton had to back out. He has no front end to use.
Yeah, he really can't. And guess what? Guess who's back up together? David Shieldhouse and Ben Baffert are back at it again. I think Shieldhouse's tires really starting to fall off here, especially been battling so hard. Baffert overcooks the corner there. Can he try to cross him over here is the question.
Down into the last two corners here before they go to the NASCAR 1 and 2, and just the corner there is so tough. That wall is so deceitful. Shieldhouse was really hoping that Satchel could put the heat on the 23 and let him run away.
Yeah, and I think Hatchel's 2 seconds behind. Now it's going to be between these two. I think Baffert's showing a little more speed than Shieldhouse. I think he just has a little more tire, but I think Baffert knows he's probably already. He's made Shieldhouse mad enough. I think he's going to have to try to find a way to cleanly get by the 20. But knowing Ben Baffert, he is not afraid to use the bumper.
Coming up just about 5 laps to go, and then we're watching the lead heat up now. Got down to 0.4 of a second there for a second. Stravado's got it. I think he's got the tires. He's got to find all those mistakes to capitalize. Every tenth is going to count here.
Yeah, it's going to be tough here. Oh, Baffert's underneath Shieldhouse. They make a little contact. Shieldhouse able to keep the position. They almost spun. Shieldhouse, a wide exit, almost gets into the wall. Man, I'll tell you, Baffert is just begging to get around, or turn himself around with the 20 of Shieldhouse. These guys are just all over each other, hitting each other. Man, these cars are getting used up.
I know that the 20 and the 23 probably have the worst tires on the track right now, the way they're sliding around. But the 23 wants that spot so bad. What a show these guys have put on. Kudos to everybody out here in this top 5. I think probably 3rd through 7th position. Any one of these guys could get a podium right now.
Yeah, I'll tell you, and Baffert just has so much more exit off the corner. He's got so much more drive off than the 20 of David Shieldhouse. What does he do is the question. The leader, Jeff, right now, 0.8 of a second up. Baffert over the Turtles. Oh, Shieldhouse hops it wrong. Does Baffert have enough of a run to get there?
The 8 car of Seth Hatchell is seeing this again.
Oh, did it again.
He's seeing this happen, and I know he's already thinking, okay, podium. I got to wait for these guys to make a mistake.
Baffert.
Big slide there by the 20 of Shieldhouse as they go into the final chicane. It's going to be another one for Shieldhouse in 3rd.
5 to go.
5 to go here, and I tell you what, Wright and Stravado, the battles kind of went stationary. I'm gonna peer.
Into the wall.
Big hit there. I heard that.
Yeah, hard hit for Turner, but now Baffert reeling in. Does he give the bumper to Shieldhouse? He'll try to cross him over here. Shieldhouse gets on the brakes, trying to stop them, impede the momentum of the 23. Is it going to be enough? Up into turn 5, up the hill, and now they'll come on the top of the hill, down up into 6, and now downhill into 7, and they'll try to set up to the run off of turn 8 into NASCAR turn 1. Is it going to be enough here? Baffert overcooks it a little bit. Can he build the run here? He's got a nice run on the 20.
We've seen the 20 do some blocks, a little bit of weaving by the 20 of Shieldhouse, and he goes up and just kind of breaks that momentum up. The 23's not quite sure where he wants to take it. There's that late break.
A huge send by Baffert.
He slides it.
He misses the corner, but he's able to get the spot. Here comes Shieldhouse into the driver's left. And here comes Hatchell. And Hatchell's able to get the spot from Baffert. Move Hatchell into 4th, Baffert back down to 5th. Does Hatchell try to pounce on the 20 of Shieldhouse?
5 laps to go, and this just is heating up more and more. We had some lap traffic, and Stravado gets a little loose. He had it down to 0.4, but back here, this is where it's at, right here.
Exactly. This is the battle. Can Seth Hatchell, who arguably has the best tires of any of these guys he's racing with, can he get by? Can he set up the pass on David Shieldhouse and get that podium spot in 3rd? Baffert has fallen back down to 5th. His tires are absolutely destroyed, but man, he's been the most aggressive. He'll get a run on Seth Hatchell here. Just not going to be enough. Can Hatchell put pressure on Shieldhouse? They fall at 25 seconds behind the leader. Is it going to be enough?
They've counted out that top 2. They've given up on that. This is for 3rd now, and it's going to be between Shieldhouse, Satchel, Baffert, even Hutton still in the hunt there. And we've got another guy behind Hutton. We've got another guy, with a 77 of Chris Simmerd. He's a little bit behind, but I tell you what, he could, if somebody up here makes a huge mistake, it's absolutely plausible that he could catch up. All three of them going into the chicane, almost a 3 wide there. These guys sorting it out. Hutton is just catching them up. I think Hutton's going to be in the mix here soon. I think Alec broke his mic. You good, buddy?
I'm good. Sorry. Looks like Baffert now underneath.
Oh, contact. Almost 3 wide. There's Hutton. I told you. And there he is to the inside. Almost 3 wide across the line. And a contact into Satchel. Then it turns him. The 8 car out of the battle now.
He turned him now, and now Hutton's up to 4th. Shieldhouse pulls away in 3rd. Baffert back to 4th. Can he run down Hatchell? Man, what a battle. But now Shieldhouse, he's got some breathing room. Coming at 3 to go. Jeff Wright all by himself, almost 2 seconds ahead of AJ Stravato. That Lowe's 48 machine has been bad fast all night.
We got a spinner. Spinner right here in the chicane. Justin Carey just he got out of the way. Well timed. I mean, you gotta be aware of the surroundings. Well done by the 12 of Carey. Stravato about a 1.5 seconds back. Shieldhouse, he has breathing room now. A second back to the 23 of Baffert, and then Eric Hutton. Just how about it? I know that there was a little contact there, but I mean, you're racing for a top 5. You got to take. Seth Hatchell doesn't lose a ton of ground. He's about 4 seconds back.
He lost 2 positions out of that, but man, what a battle between these top 4. Hutton just getting into Hatchell there and spinning him out into turn 1. It just doesn't get any better than this. It's so awesome. The competition in this league is just second to none. And I'll tell you what, Ben Baffert is closing in again on David Shieldhouse.
Yep, we've got less than a second there for a point, and they come through the chicane. I think we're going to see another last lap battle. I think it's going to happen. What do you think? What do you think is going to happen here?
I think if Baffert gets up to him, we're going to see another send. If he gets to him, he might move him. I'm not sure. But Eric Hutton is waiting in the wings if anything happens. And I'll tell you, these top 2 have pulled away by so much, it's not even funny. But Jeff Wright looks like he'll be cruising to his first ever BTDY series win. Man, what a race from Jeff Wright. And I forgot to also shout out Joshua Banks earlier in the season. He won his first career race at Daytona. Shieldhouse won his first career at Homestead, and Jeff Wright's going to be cruising, it looks like, to his first win ever in BTDY, and it might come here at the Roval. Again, still 2 laps of racing to go for that Lowe's 48 machine, but man, what a race, what a drive he's had. And David, and it looks like Yusuf Ghali and Faircloth going at it here for the 10th position. Ghali back inside the top 10. Keith Mayato has just made a pass on his teammate Chris Samard, and he looks like he'll set his eyes on his other teammate Seth Hatchell, and it looks like Bailey Turner up into the wall again.
Bailey Turner struggling a little bit here, but I tell you what, Yusuf Ghali to come back up into the top 10 and Keith Mayato in 7th position. That is a heck of a drive by these guys, especially Keith. Luckily it happened when it did, that he was able to recover from it, but what a drive. What a drive to come back, and it just shows you the talent. Keith probably would be up there in that battle with that top 3.
Oh, absolutely. I think him and Turner would have been in it. And I'll tell you, it's heating up one more time. Ben Baffert is running the 20 down again. That yellow and purple hood. I tell you, David Shieldhouse is going to have nightmares about that 23 car. He has been all over him all race. And now it's coming down to this 2 laps to go. Jeff Wright going through the final, or the backstretch chicane with a 2.5 second lead, but this battle for 3rd rages on. Baffert right on the back bumper of David Shieldhouse. What does Shieldhouse do? Baffert lays the bumper to him, moves him up the racetrack. Here comes Baffert, a driver's right, won't be able to get there. Shieldhouse shuts the door on him now, up into NASCAR 1 and 2. Jeff Wright will take the white flag. 1 lap to go, but a lap and a half for this battle here.
All right, Jeff Wright's going to take the white flag. He's got a huge lead over AJ Stravato, about a second, almost 2 seconds back. And then we go back to 3rd position. This battle, this is what we've been wanting to see. Jeff Wright's probably going to cross the finish line in 1st position. Where's going to be 3rd? Who's going to get that 3rd place podium position? As Baffert gets to the bumper, this is 1 lap to go. Here's right here up on the bumper in the chicane.
He knows, he's waiting for it. I think he'll definitely put a bumper to David Shieldhouse if he gets a shot. A lap and a half to go. 1 lap to go for these top 3. A half lap to go for the leader, Jeff Wright. Shieldhouse overshoots turn 1 and allows Baffert to close into that back bumper.
Right up
Man,
on the
these
tail.
guys.
They're going to touch each other probably here on the exit. I'd
Here
say
it goes.
NASCAR 1 and 2 is probably going to be the place.
Oh, there it is. He's under him now. They make a little more contact.
He's going to overshoot that corner. That's going to be one mistake Shieldhouse doesn't want to make. He does not want to overshoot
Here it
before they get to
comes.
this banking.
He's going to get into him. They're going to
And
make
the contact. Big contact. We had a lot of dust there. A lot of chalk coming off the wall.
I'll tell you this, but through NASCAR 3 and 4 for the final time.
Touch.
Baffert moves Shieldhouse, but off of the final turn, Jeff Wright will see the checkered flag. Jeff Wright will lead every single lap in a dominant performance. Wright wins his first race at BTDY. The battle for third raging on. Shieldhouse goes defensive. Baffert to the outside.
He locks it up.
Baffert speeds off the corner. He'll keep the spot. Here comes Shieldhouse once more. Here comes Eric Hutton as well.
Hutton gets around him on the outside. He's got the run. He's got the speed.
Baffert's running
They're gonna
way
touch
out the
doors.
door.
They're gonna touch again.
Oh, Eric Hutton is going to have none of it. I think Eric Hutton's going to give him a bumper. David Shieldhouse is going to barely hang on to third in an immaculate battle with Baffert. Shieldhouse third, Baffert fourth. Eric Hutton comes home with the top 5. What a race from the Roval. And Jeff Wright, your winner tonight. And AJ Stravato bringing it home second. The Italian Stallion, another great drive. Man, what a race.
Let's go back and look at this battle. We're going to go back to this battle. Let's watch the 23. So locks it up in the chicane hard. Slides it out, and then that just gives Shieldhouse the door and gives him the run. Hutton, though. Hutton, man. I tell you what. I probably would have sent it in that last chicane just to let him know I wasn't happy about that.
I don't know. Baffert really ran him up, doored him out of the way pretty much.
Yeah, I would. I think the brakes might have got stuck on that one.
Yeah, I think Baffert just showed, man, so aggressive. He's willing to do anything for any spot, any bit of track position he can get. But how about Jeff Wright? First career win in BTDY. I know we didn't talk about him much, even though he dominated. He led every single lap today. I think that's how you win it right there. Very convincing fashion there. I mean, what a race, Bradley. That was awesome. It doesn't get any better than that. Actually, I think he led everything but 2. His teammate, Reggie Ortega, gives him a little bit of a bump. We're going to see this 48 burn it down. His first career win in BTDY. Man, what a race we saw. Jeff Wright, your winner from the Charlotte Roval. 3 races, 3 different winners. It doesn't get much better than the race that we saw from the Charlotte Roval here tonight between Ben Baffert and David Shieldhouse. We'll be right back. We'll do a quick commercial break, and then we will come and talk to your top 3 tonight in the Martin Sports 125.
And here comes Milo. Big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out for 37.
Oh!
Burned!
Cabot, where did he come from?
Here
comes Zwack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it at Auto Club.
Sailor Tarot Magic is the spot to get a reading from Sally, an intuitive healer and tarot reader. Known as the Nurturing Reader at New Jersey street fairs, you can also check out our YouTube channel for lunar and astro readings, as well as our Instagram for live weekly readings. Her rates are affordable, and you will leave with a newfound perspective. Sally is now offering an introductory class on tarot cards and intuition, and is available for parties. Call or text 732-314-0777 to schedule your reading today.
Contact there entering turn 1.
Around goes the 9! Oh, he comes back at the track and he gets clobbered! Josiah picks it up into the air!
Back live, BTDY at the Roval, and what an eventful race we had. The fight for the top 3 and the guy that earned it. We're down here on pit road with Alec Martinez and David Shieldhouse. Take it away, Alec.
Well, I'm here with David Shieldhouse. David, man, it was a crazy battle with you and Ben Baffert. You guys rubbing doors, rubbing fenders, brother. How was it?
You said it pretty perfectly, Alec. It was crazy out there. I was just sort of watching it back myself to try and understand exactly what was going on. I was very confused about a lot of things that were going on there in the second half of the race between me and Ben. Ben and I raced together pretty well. Usually, this was just I think we got our wires crossed or something on what exactly was happening lap to lap. So it was a good battle. I'm sure it looked good on the broadcast, but I was not particularly thrilled for a lot of it. I wasn't really happy about a lot of what was going on, so I'm just glad I could hold on to third, and it didn't get any worse than it already was.
Absolutely, man. Let me tell you, you guys put on a heck of a show. Had us yelling and screaming, but now away from the road courses, and now we go back to a short track in Iowa next week. How do you feel about going out there to the Corn State?
I'm glad to visit that track. I don't know why we don't race there in the real world. It's a perfectly good racetrack. I mean, it's good enough for IndyCar. I don't know why NASCAR just ditched it, but it'll be fun to go and race there. Usually puts on a pretty good show, gives you some options lane to lane, and we'll go out there and give it hell. I mean, that's what we're out here to do every week here in BTDY is run up front, lead laps, and put on a good show. I think I did that tonight in the Heartbeat Hot Sauce Chevy Camaro. And again, I want to go back to the thing with me and Ben. Ben showed a lot of poise and a lot of discipline to not get into me any further when we were battling. And he could have definitely moved me. He could have wrecked me. He was faster than me. And so I appreciate that. And so I don't have anything negative towards Ben coming out of this race or going into the next race. I think we can just call it even and move on.
I think that's a great way. But now, before I let you go, I know you got the Twitch stream going and everything. Is there anybody you want to give a shout out to before we let you go for the night?
Yeah, again, big thank you to Heartbeat Hot Sauce, Alpha Prime Racing, everybody at twitch.tv/Shieldhouse. The children were cheering me on, enjoying the show. They know I'm usually not pretty good at road course stuff. I really am not good at this. So to come away with a third, I set a goal of a top 5 for tonight because I didn't really know, who was really good at road course racing here in BTDY, but I sort of figured it out now. Shout out to those guys that kicked our ass, but to be sort of best of the rest, I'm okay with that. And yeah, I'm just still recovering from Daytona, Alec. I got a big bad sunburn on my forehead. It was not a great weekend for the Alpha Prime gang, so we'll move on and hopefully put on a good race at Auto Club with the boys. But happy to come out of here with third tonight. That feels pretty good.
Absolutely, man. Well, again, congratulations on running third. Awesome show you guys put on. Have fun at Auto Club. I know it's going to be raining, so have fun.
I
with
won't
that.
be there. I'm staying home.
Oh, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah, I'm staying home. You can catch me at Vegas or Phoenix on the West Coast
Oh,
swing, but I'm
we'll
taking
catch
the
you at
first leg
Vegas.
off.
Absolutely, brother. Well, again, have a wonderful night. It was awesome seeing you put on a show, man. We'll see you next week at Iowa.
Awesome. I appreciate it, Alec. Thanks.
No problem.
All right,
All
third
right.
place finisher, and we're gonna move on to second place now. AJ Stravato, which I mean, let's just be honest. The guy, he was my pick. I'm gonna pull him up here. I gotta talk to him. Oh, there he is. He's on point. Alec is on point. He pulls people exactly when I need it. Stravato, do you got a copy, buddy?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we're walking through the 48 of Wright was just he was bad fast tonight, but you were able to drive that machine back from 6th position, especially in that first half of the race. Just mowed through the field, took advantage of every mistake that anyone made. It was just, I mean, it looked like the doors were used off that thing tonight.
Yeah, they're definitely used off tonight. I just wish I didn't make a couple mistakes, especially towards the end of that first run. I think if I really just took care of the tires a little bit better, and I don't know, I felt like I was driving an LMP2 and some GT3 traffic out there, just some lap cars just having zero idea where to go, the apexes, and I think just being a little bit frustrated with that the first run and just making a couple mistakes just I think really cost me. I had a minute of damage at the end and just wasn't enough, but I think if anybody I can take losing a road course to in a stock car, it's Jeff. He's a hell of a driver, and I've known him for a very long time. So just to be able to run with him is pretty solid. I'll take that any day of the week. Just got to clean up some mistakes on my end and be a little bit better.
Can't smell ya, can't see ya. Can you explain that on the back of that car?
Yeah, it's an inside joke between my buddies and I. It's been going on for a couple of years, so just an inside joke. My buddy dared me to put it on the car one time as an inside joke, and the first race I ended up running with it. I won, so just kept it ever since, and been running pretty well ever since. So just a little superstitious to keep it on the car and make a couple buddies who watch the race laugh. So that's, I guess, the story behind that.
Well, let's make that font extra big. We're going to Iowa next week, and we're taking the 33 on more of a cookie cutter style track. What do you have in store? Is that more in your wheelhouse?
I'm not the best at, I'd say, shorter tracks, but Iowa's one of my better tracks. Just I haven't been able really to figure it out since the new grip strips and everything have been added. Just hasn't been to my driving style. So I think if he can get a top 5, I don't know if he took the points lead or not. I know he had a good run, but if we did take the points lead, just trying to build on that and just get a damn win. I want to win. I was really frustrating coming in second to Jeff, but like I said, if there's anybody to come second to, I'll take running second to him. So.
Well, man, I can sense the frustration. And second place, nothing to hold your head down about. Stravato, congratulations. Do you have anybody you'd like to shout out?
Yeah, just I'd say Jeff for making me sweat my ass off that entire race. That was a lot of fun. Beating all the guys who do a hell of a job in the booth. I can't wait to watch this one back. I'm sure you did a great job, Bradley. And just Nexus Esports, all my teammates over there on the Road to Pro side, and just all the league admins and sponsors that make this happen. It's a lot of fun coming here every Tuesday and racing against some really good guys and some really clean competition. So looking forward to next week.
Well, we appreciate that. And I think Alec appreciates it most of all. He lost his voice during all that.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you, Alec, man.
Oh, please. I appreciate you, brother. The stallion, the Italian stallion.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you guys.
All right, second place finisher, AJ Stravato, able to get it done. Just like he said, man, he appreciates the talent. Jeff Wright getting it done tonight. That was kudos to Jeff. Honestly, it's
Absolutely.
yeah. So putting
Well,
on a
it's
clinic
special.
here tonight. Let's pull him up. Let's get out of your victory lane.
Jeff J. Wright, buddy, you bring it home a winner. I think you led just about every single lap, buddy. How was it out there?
Hey man, we got it done. We got that first below the double yellow league win, and I'm pumped. Honestly, didn't think it was going to come at this track. I do like road courses, but I don't know. The Rovals, just when I see that track on the schedule, I'm not super excited. But I'm just glad that we qualified up front. And, we were able to put ourselves in a position to win. There's a lot of guys that were pretty quick there. A lot of guys that were probably better than me on the long run, especially that first stage. I think I took off maybe a little bit too quick there, and AJ, he pulled back into me, and Ben made up a lot of ground, and some other guys too. So, just happy, we didn't make any mistakes, and we were able to bring it home. This is awesome.
Absolutely, man. Well, now next week, away from the road courses, down to Iowa. Do you think you got a chance to maybe go 2 in a row?
Yeah, I like Iowa a lot. It's a fun racetrack. It's a little bit different, I guess, than it used to be. In times past, maybe it's been a little bit more multi-groove, I guess, than it is now. But, nonetheless, I like Iowa a lot. I know AJ, he's really good at Iowa. I think that's one of his, best tracks that he goes to. So I'm sure he's going to be up there at the front competing for the win as well. And I'm just excited that this puts us in a pretty good point spot. We've had a pretty good start to the year in terms of finishes. And then obviously winning today, that's going to help the points situation a lot as well. So, going to Iowa would be great to get a win if possible. But, if we could just, safely, keep getting ourselves top 10s, top 5s, that type of thing, it'll put us in a really good spot, heading into the end of the regular season, start of the chase, that type of stuff. So that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to get as many points as possible. And then obviously if you can get a win, which is, not easy to do in this league with the, the amount of guys in here that are capable of winning. We're going to enjoy this one because who knows when that next one might come.
Absolutely, man. Well, you were my pick, so thank you for making me right. I think 2. I don't know. You've gotten me right at least once, so I'm happy to hear that.
All right, how about it?
Jeff, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I picked a 33, so thanks for making me wrong.
Well, you guys both picked the guys that were battling at the end, so
yeah.
One of you guys was going to make some money. So,
well, man, it was great having you again. Congratulations on the win. And before we let you guys, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, we'll give a shout out to the teammate, Reggie. He was actually doing fuel calculation for me because I don't have the fuel overlay like some guys do. I didn't know if we were good on fuel or not, actually, when we started racing the second stage. And I was trying to short shift a little bit, save the rear tires and then also, save fuel in the process. But I was pretty much completely blind to the fuel situation. So big shout out to Reggie for actually feeding me that information while he was out there trying to run his own race as well. That's hard to do, so big shout out to him. And then how about Eddie back home watching on TV tonight? He was cheering me on. Appreciate you, Eddie Trejo. And we got the win here for the team. Appreciate you guys.
Absolutely, man. Well, again, congratulations, Jeff. We will see you out next week in Iowa.
All right. Thanks, Alec.
There we go. Your winner, Jeff Wright. He's pumped. I like it. And, man, what a race we were treated to tonight. Again, shout out to Ben Baffert, David Shieldhouse. Those guys, that was one of the best battles I've ever seen on the road courses. And David, taking it well. I know definitely a little upset there, but, man.
David's a class act. He's not going to... Yeah, he's not going to call it out. But I tell you, the way he said it there at the end of that is we're going to call it even. We're not going to carry it into next week. That's what you got to do. Some of these drivers have really long-term memories. It's really weird because I can remember a race from 6 years ago, but I can't remember my wife asking me to do something 5 minutes ago.
Absolutely.
It's crazy.
Spectacular racing. And, man, I can't wait to get onto the short track next week. I think it's going to be our first short track of the year, man. Just such a great variety of tracks, and I'm sure we'll be treated to a heck of a show next week. And appreciate you coming up here, man. This has been awesome, and looking forward to working together for the rest of this year. It's going to be awesome.
Alec had a great time, man. And everybody at BTDY, I hope you guys enjoyed this broadcast. I hope that VSPEED was satisfied. I know we had some rough parts there at the very start, but we're getting through it. I'm getting back into it, and I got excited. This was a great race to come back to. So BTDY putting on a great show.
Absolutely.
So for everybody at BTDY and VSPEED, Martin Sports, Sailor Terra Magic, and Affinity for Gaming, I believe I missed one. You know what?
Bush League Bound.
Bush League Bound.
Yes.
everybody here that makes this possible, we'd like to thank you for being a part of tonight's broadcast. If you did like the broadcast, make sure you hit that follow button. Make sure you share it with everybody you know, and most of all, subscribe to the channel. That would mean a lot to us. Hit the thumbs up. It's really important to everybody. Adam puts this on, Alec, and everybody that has asked me to be here. I've been freelancing, so. But yeah, nonetheless, we appreciate.
That's awesome.
Every week that goes by, I'm more and more thankful for the opportunities. So thank you guys very much. This is VSPEED signing off. Take care, everybody.
Sailor Tarot Magic is the spot to get a reading from Sally, an intuitive healer and tarot reader, known as the Nurturing Reader at New Jersey Street Fairs. You can also check out our YouTube channel for lunar and astro readings, as well as our Instagram for live weekly readings. Her rates are affordable, and you will leave with a newfound perspective. Sally is now offering an introductory class on tarot cards and intuition, and is available for parties. Call or text 732-314-0777 to schedule your reading today.